just to kind of reiterate scale and scale factor. So, let me bring it up. Oh, right here. All right, so if I have this picture, little doggy. Oh, and all you girls can say, "Aww." Said girls now.
So am I.
Okay, so we have this picture of a dog. Have you ever noticed when you go to adjust pictures, what happens if I just grab like one side? It makes it all weird.
Ugly.
Whoa, it looks like it just shrunk and got really, really big, right?
Yeah.
So what happened when we did this? What are we actually doing when we grab one side of a picture and making it bigger? We're stretching it by, but which side are we changing? We're changing this, the width, right? So if we change the width, let's call this the width and the height today. So we'll say width and height is the vertical. If we just change the width, have we done anything to the height? No, so we kind of mess up our picture. Is the same true the other way? If I stretch this down, now I just get really tall. Right? It looks like Clifford. No, he's really does. Why do you think computers and other programs conveniently put the little dot in the corner?
That way you won't know.
Because when we stretch it, are we then stretching the width and the height at the exact same time with the same ratio? Yeah. So if we drag this down, it's just the same picture, blown up bigger. Right? If I knock it down, it looks exactly the same, just bigger, right? Do I go back and forth? Alright, so that's why they do that. They give you this in the corner so that it makes it perfectly to scale. Actually, kind of conveniently, on the smartboard, they actually only give you the one in the corner. Because there's so many pictures that people use in here and things like that, they don't even want you to be able to distort it and spread it out. So they make it really easy to just give you the one in the corner. It's nice. So they've already kind of taken care of that. You also notice if you have a picture, let's just say a regular old picture. Do you know what pictures are actually made out of? Pixels, right? And what is a pixel?
Just the smallest dot.
It's just this little, basically like a little grid almost, like a little tiny square, little picture. If you ever go into Microsoft Paint and drop a picture in there and make it really, really big, you can see how the lines actually aren't curved, they're actually kind of jagged. When you zoom out, the pixels get so small that it looks like it's rounded off, right? So in a picture, think about a pixel. If a pixel is a perfect square, and now I just stretch it to one side or the other, do you notice how the picture always gets really, really fuzzy too? And you can kind of see the edges? Well, the reason that is because you're stretching one part of the pixel, but not the others. So now it doesn't know how to like make itself look right. So it looks all weird and fuzzy and kind of faded. Okay?
Kind of funny.
Makes sense. Scale factor. Scale. Yes? Understanding? Okay. Here's what I want you to do. Listen to all the directions and then I'll tell you to go. So I need you to get, before you get up, give yourself a score on your homework that we just checked. Just a general score, just like we always do. So if you did it all, give yourself 4. If you missed 1 or 2, give yourself 3. If you missed about half of it, give yourself half. And I think there's 15 problems or 16 problems. Okay, so that's the first thing. After you do that, I'm going to give you a couple minutes, a little stretch break. There's a big piece of graph paper, a little piece of graph paper, and then grab one picture. So what are the 3 things you need? And one of the 4 pictures. And then there's also rulers up there. Okay, so grab all of that, and then come back to your seat. I'll explain to you what we're doing, and then I'll get a score on your homework while you work. Okay? Carefully. Here's what we're going to do. The first thing I want you to do is label some stuff. So, this is your small graph paper. This is just a little tiny one. Alright? There's going to be some extra rows and columns, and I'm going to show you how to label it, and then you can follow me as I'm doing this. So if this is your small little corner sheet of paper, some of you are gonna have extra space kind of looking like this. Half of you will have extra space like that. The other half, seeing how it'll make a full sheet of paper. The other half will have your extra space like this. Is that right? Yeah, so some of you have this half of the page, some of you have that half. Either way, here's how I want you to label it. You're gonna start in the upper left corner. First of all, you should hold it so that it's skinnier than it is tall. Okay? Start in the upper left of the grid. Label the top A through G. If you have extra columns, that's fine. If you have a little bit of extra space, like a half column, don't count that. So if there's a little bit of extra hangover here, start at the first full square. If you have this part, do the same thing. So start in the upper left. A through G. The vertical columns, we're going to label with numbers. So let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, up to either 9 or 10. Whichever one you have space for. All your drawings should fit into 9, but you can put 10 if you want. And the same thing over here. So on your open side, do the same thing. Depending on which one you have. And here's what I want you to do. You're going to take your picture. Okay? You're going to put it so that the picture itself, now does the white space matter? Or is white space white space? Okay, so just the pictures may not be cut perfectly, but what I want you to do is take your picture and make it so that it fits between A and G and between 1 and 10. You should be able to get them fit between 1 and 9. So you're going to put it on the small paper so that you can fit it in like this. If there's a little bit of overhang, that's okay. See how like on this side I've got a little bit of white space that hangs over the edge? That's fine. You don't have to be perfectly on there. Now what I want you to do is take your ruler and you're going to trace these lines across it. So if I had my ruler out here, go right to the little grid lines and draw it right across the picture. Just draw literally right through the lines. Don't stop at the lines. So it should look like this after you do that. Okay? So literally just draw right over the top of the paper, right through. Do the horizontal and the vertical lines. Once you get to that point, the next step is on the board. Once you get the rest of those lines. Any questions back here? Can you see what it's supposed to look like already on the board? I've got a hand copy if you guys need it in the back. He's in jail. I'm sorry. He's probably sad. Just here.
Did not find you. Would you like to say something?
About another minute or so.
Are we allowed to take it off the grid when we're done? 'Cause mine's
Yep,
already-
absolutely.
Mine's sleeping, we should have tape with us.
Alright. This messes up.
If you get the grid done, on the board is your next step.
Looks like some.
Transfer your labels over to your picture. That way you can kind of hold it separately.